Yo, what's good, folkers? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're in the world. This is Tyrus Bane. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. Well, today I'm going to talk about how the idiot Lucas does not know what coercion means, apparently. He doesn't know what tyranny means. Now, let's talk about this. What am I talking about? I'm referring to the video he did on Kyrie Irving standing his ground, the latest video he put out. Now, it's his position that Kyrie Irving is not bitching and complaining and whining and crying about tyranny and coercion, right? Because that's what the people on the right are doing, right? That's what people who don't believe in forced snaps and all that good shit, we're bitching and complaining because we don't believe the government has the right to push mandates for a medical procedure onto the people. And how are they doing it? They're doing it through nefarious means. They're going through your job. They want to make sure that you don't have a livelihood if you don't comply and get this medical procedure done. That's called coercion. Understand? That's coercion. When you give people false choices, when you give people choices between two things that they don't want as they're living as grown-ass individuals in the world, that's called coercion. But you're saying that Kyrie Irving isn't talking about coercion, that he isn't talking about tyranny. While he didn't use, during his IG Live, he didn't use the words tyranny, he didn't use the words coercion, right? He did kind of explain how he was coerced and how there was tyranny being thrown at him, right? Because let's look at this. The amazing Lucas will have you believe that it's the private company of the New York Nets that is enforcing this mandate. Well, that's not the case. What they're doing is they're saying, well, the city of New York, which is a government entity, right? Mayor de Blasio, a government official, put out a executive order to force people to get snapped to participate in certain facets of society. That was done through the municipality. The government. Understand? The government. A government official put that out there. Okay? So now, Kyrie Irving, because he refuses to get the snap, well, he can't play in the Barclays Center, right? In Brooklyn. Because it is under the jurisdiction of the New York mayor who put in the snap mandate. Okay? So, he had a choice. He only had two choices, right? But these weren't choices that he was given freely. These aren't real choices that don't impact you in a negative way. They're coercing you and forcing you into a position where you have to go against something that is for your best benefit or your best interest. That's coercion. Coercion is when you're being forced to do something through manipulation, by force, right? By other means that are not good. So if you tell somebody, yo, if you don't get the snap, well, you can't come to work and make your money. You can't do that. Either you get snapped or you can't come to work. You're going to lose your money. You're going to lose millions of dollars. You can't come to practice. You can't play home games. And because we're not just going to let you play part-time, you can't play any games, even on the road. That's coercion. Those are false choices that you're giving an individual. Those aren't real choices because guess what? You could let him play part-time, work it out, do something, but you don't want to do that, right? And because the city of New York forced you to put him in this position, that's coercion. It's not like if he had a real choice, like everyone should, well, I can get snapped or not. That's it. There should be no repercussions for making one of those two decisions. If you get snapped, more power to you. If you don't get snapped, more power to you. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it becomes not coercion. And you're saying that he's not talking about tyranny. He's not whining and complaining about tyranny, but he does an IG live stream where he's not literally crying, but he is complaining and talking about how, they want to take his power away. He's not going to be forced to take his power away, this, that, and the third. He's going to stay on his nuts. He's not going to allow them to do this, that, and the third. Well, he was backed into a corner. He was forced to be suspended until he decides to get the snap. So that put him in a bad position. Yes, he still has $200 million. Yes, he still gets $40 million or whatever it is for the year, guaranteed. But at the end of the day, he still has a shitload of money that he's missing out on because they forced him to make a decision that would not go with his best interests, right? Getting the jab, not in his best interest. He didn't want it. Not getting the jab and losing his job, not in his best interest. He didn't want to do that either. But he chose the lesser of the two destructive paths. So now he's going to have to get traded. He's going to have all kind of inconvenience cracking at him. But yes, he's a multi-hundred millionaire. This is my problem, right? The clown shoe Lucas uses this and takes it because Kyrie Irving is not on the right. He is he's a black man who's probably on the left. He's probably a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? You go to his IG, he has things about Breonna Taylor and people like that. And he's not on the right. So the idiot Lucas can now, because he can't argue against Kyrie Irving's logic, he wants to co-opt it, twist it, manipulate it, turn it around, and try to throw it back on people on the right. Or people who consider themselves freedom lovers, much like myself, because I'm not on the right. I'm not on the left. I'm about 100% freedom. Okay? That's period what it is. Now, even though he made a choice, he stood on his nuts and did what was right for him. But given the choices, the small amount of choices that he had, he was still coerced. It's still coercion. It's just like when you're being interrogated by the police and they give you two false choices that would end in you being screwed either way. That's coercion. Coercion is not necessarily, I'm going to beat your ass, I'm going to slam your head on until I'm going to cut your head off. No. At the end of the day, you're being turned in a direction that you don't want to go in. When the real direction is what? What's the real choice he wanted? What's his real choice? To not get snapped and to play fucking basketball. If it wasn't coercion, then that's what it is. If it's not voluntary, it's what? Coercion. The minute you take away one of the choices that he should be able to have, it's coercion. Once you say, if you don't get snapped, you don't play, you don't get your money. If you do get snapped, you're risking maybe something bad happening to you from the snap, even though it's very rare, but you get to play basketball. You get to play basketball, but God knows what could happen to you after you get snapped. Those are two choices that if you don't want to make either of those choices, and there's a choice that you could make that would allow you to do both of the things you want, which is to play basketball and not get snapped, that's fucking coercion. That's how that works. But see, the amazing Lucas knows that, but he thinks you're stupid. So he's going to twist the words and manipulate it, try to make it sound like he wanted to sound, and go from there. But we know what's real. Anyway, hit that like button, like, share, subscribe. Holla at your boy. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Is it coercion or not? Anyway, y'all hit me up on the Discord, Freedom's March, right? That's my Discord server, Freedom's March. And my username is Bane Rising. I'm going to try to build my Discord as best as possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really up on all that technological shit, but we're going to get it cracking. And let's keep marching forward toward freedom, people. Peace.